launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Football Friday. We still got a few of these left. Lots of really big games in the NFL this weekend as we're getting close to NFL playoff time, playoff seeding, all important. But man, we have it's a big game for the Bucs this week against the Buffalo Bills. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. If you have any issues with stucco damage or any damage to your home and you're dealing with those insurance companies, let Chris Palermo represent you like dogged attorney that he is. He will take care of all of it. Don't try to do it yourself, folks. Get an attorney. He'll give you a free consultation. Just go to palermopa.com and check him out. All right, we got so much to get to today. My brother Nick Geddes is here from Outkick.com. How are you, sir?
Good morning. Good morning. Back here in another day in Tampa Bay. A lot of fog out there on the way here, but
is there? And you know what's weird yesterday? At about 12:30, I go up on the roof here at the beautiful Altice Grand in downtown Tampa, and it's hazy. It's like hazy fog at 12:30. Normally that burns off. It was weird.
Well, when I'm coming here in the morning around, 8 something, 9 something, it is like super fog everywhere. Super fog.
Got the going on.
Going, but we're here and we got lots to get into. Football Friday, Bucks, Bills, the Lightning with a big win. We got so much to get into today.
The Steelers game last night, Chase Claypool, what are you doing? What are you doing? If Mike Tomlin was allowed, he would have he would have walked slowly out on that field, grabbed him by the face mask, and ripped his head off. No question about it.
He looked like after the game, he did not want to talk about Chase Claypool.
We'll hear from Mike Tomlin.
We'll hear from him later.
We'll hear from Mike Tomlin. The division of labor was not in effect tonight. The division of labor was not in effect last night. Not well done. Great comeback by the Steelers, down 29-0. Come back and almost win it. A drop pass away, or kind of a knocked out pass. That was a tough catch. A great throw by Roethlisberger between three guys to Freiermuth, and he had it for a moment, but just got punched out. Would have been a hell of a comeback, but they would have had another play if Chase Claypool wouldn't have jumped up with 36 seconds left after he caught a first down that they basically allowed, you or I could have done. Yeah. We're playing off, and then he has to get up and do his little first down thing before he hands the ball back. The center comes over and then, trying to get the ball and knocks it out of the ball. And they basically wasted 10 seconds from 36 to 26. And then Claypool is yelling at the offensive lineman for knocking the ball out of his hand.
There's some these guys don't get it, man.
Knucklehead.
Just does not get it. So many incidents with him.
It's just like epitome of what the Steelers are now. That's what they are. They're not the big badass Steelers that they used to be. Dalvin Cook runs for 206, like nobody touching him on the way to the end zone. That's who they are. They do not have that Steelers identity anymore. And frankly, Mike Tomlin has to be held accountable for that. He's the culture setter.
It's so weird. Like, how can you have such a soft football team, but such a hard football coach? It's just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it goes back to AB, man. When you just start letting one guy start slipping, and the whole culture can crumble. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll hear from Mike Tomlin a little bit later on the show. Anthony Becht's going to join us at 10:15. Saw him last night at the Ryan Neese Holiday Spectacular. Beautiful party last night, the power of giving. And we did a lot of giving last night. Raised a lot of money for local charities. It's great that Ryan comes back, former Buccaneer. 15 years removed from playing, he's still giving back to our community. Lives out in California, poor guy. But no wonder he likes coming back here. So, dude, you gotta move back here. So he will join us. Sal Capaccio, who's the sideline guy from the Buffalo Bills, will join us. We actually did this interview yesterday. Great guy, a really, really fun guy to chat with. So we'll hear from him, breaking down the Bills-Bucks game and breaking down Bills Mafia too. Thought he had a great breakdown of Bills Mafia. You'll learn things about Bills Mafia you did not know. And they're going to be coming here in force, my friends. I mean, in force. Christopher Palermo will join us at 11:15, and we're going to talk about the Rays and the very interesting article yesterday. We talked about it yesterday about how the mayor said she does not feel any pushback on the sister city plan. Oh, really? I want to make sure everybody knows that we're not going after the mayor at all. I mean, some people get a feeling that we're doing that, and no, we're not. We're giving her pushback. This is what politicians need. They need feedback from the public. She says she hasn't heard it. Well, that's our fault, or maybe a little bit of her fault. She's not listening. Maybe she must definitely not be on social media, although I know she is. She's always on social media, but maybe just not tuned into what fans are saying. And businessmen are saying, and that's it's incumbent upon the media has completely dropped the ball in this endeavor, and they've at least the Times is obviously completely all in on the sister city plan with Stu. It just boggles my mind. I said this on Twitter, and I kind of I don't know if I should have tweeted that, but I wonder how you feel about this. Do you get a sense that the St. Pete Times, because that's what they are, they've always been the St. Pete Times. I think they've been one of the real contributors to the disunity in the community, separating Tampa and St. Pete and always talking about those type things. I think they've done a better job since they've become the Tampa Bay Times and shut down the Tampa Tribune as they did. They bought it and shut it down. But of course, there's no diversity of thought in that. In this, it's a very, very left-wing paper. I think people understand that. Always have, but their whole idea of their provincialism, they don't want Tampa to have a full-time team. Like it's like if they're leaving here, go at least do half in Montreal and half here. Is that a thing you think? Am I just being bitter about it?
Not being bitter, but you have strong feelings about it, and you're probably more well versed than I am in it because you've been around longer in this area covering the team. But I do sense some of that a little bit. I think a lot of people were calling out the Times yesterday on Twitter specifically for not being transparent in some of their reporting. I saw a lot of that going around yesterday.
In what way? Maybe I missed that.
Because I think Topkin had put that article out there from Charlie Frago about the new developments in the John Romano column, and people were really angry, in the comment section as usual on Twitter about them reporting this and never reporting the other side of it, and like the fans think. And I think that's definitely due justice. But it no doubt about it. It's a very tricky situation. It's very layered. But we know that we're very passionate about it here, and we'll do our best to provide our reporting and anything that we hear.
Yeah, and I did a little rant yesterday on the show, and you guys know how I feel about that. But it really is. It's incumbent upon the fans to get on Twitter, to get on Facebook, and let the mayor know. There's a lot of conduits to get to the mayor. You can go to Tampa.gov, go all the way to the right side where it says government, and then click on contact mayor's office. It's a little convoluted. I hate to say it, but it is. Then you click on the mayor's office and then just follow the prompts to get you get basically to a form that you fill out. And then there's a message part at the bottom. And just, it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be well written. It's just say, here's your pushback. We don't want a sister city plan. We don't want to spend any public money on half a stadium. Hold the line, force the Rays to come full season if we're going to build them a stadium. This whole idea that a $700 million stadium, you're going to be saving money, all this is just, it's bunk. It's another false narrative. You're going to spend $700 million, a full season stadium is maybe, I don't know what, $100 million less than you're not going to have. You're going to build a 27,000 seat stadium anyway, or a 30,000 seat stadium, whatever. It's about the same money for half the dates. I mean, the number, you want to talk about numbers that don't work. That doesn't work. Half the dates spending $700 million, $800 million on a stadium doesn't work. And I think it's a foolish expenditure of money, to be quite honest, and I know it's not general fund money coming from the citizens, but it's bed tax money. It's, how they divide it up into different piles, to me, really doesn't matter. It's still, in essence, money that, they could have raised and done different things. Have they built a convention center or whatever? I mean, there is obviously some user fee here involved, and that's a good thing. The people that are going to use the stadium are going to pay for it in terms of taxes. So that's a good thing. And it's not general fund public money is my point. But if it's a user fee tax on beers and burgers in the development district, so be it. That's basically how Atlanta did a lot of their public money, and it's working for them. So we just have to push back and let them know that all our politicians have got to hold the line and don't fall into this false narrative that we're going to have to take a half season. We don't have to take a half season. That's just not something that we have to do. So go on the Tampa.gov and go all to the right, government, mayor's office, contact the mayor, fill out the form. There is a number for City Hall, 813-274-8211. That's 813-274-8211. We'll put this on social media as well. And you can call that and say, I want to leave a message for the mayor's office. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to handle it, but say you want to talk to the mayor's office. And even if you just say, someone picks up the phone and say, I just want to let the mayor know that we don't want a sister city plan. Do not spend any public money on that. Just want to have my voice known. And they'll probably direct you to the website to fill out the form. But calling matters. When you start getting the phone ringing, it matters. I know it's kind of pain in the ass for them, but that's the way this is government. This is how your voice is heard. It's 813-274-8211. And then, John Romano's column. I mean, I don't even know where to go with this guy. It's just, this whole idea of long shot or not, Ray's plan for Montreal is picking up support. And it's just, of course the support is all emanating from Stu and their cronies. And Castor's basically going along with it, I hope, for now, showing willingness to get involved in the latest plan. Sure, you got to keep talking to the Rays. And if and when the Players Association said this is not happening, I mean, all signs are, I don't know. I don't even know where you say it's picking up steam. They went to the executive council and they tabled the motion. They could have given them the go ahead to go to Montreal. They didn't. That's a fact. How is that picking up steam? As the Players Association said they're in on it? No, they've said the opposite. How's that picking up steam? I mean, has the mayor or anyone else come out and specifically said, yeah, we're in on the sister city plan? No, they said they're considering it. They're here. They're listening to it. How is that coming out? If it was picking up steam, the mayor would have said, we're going to do the sister city plan. She didn't say that. Anybody saying that? No,
not that I've seen. I've seen. No,
I just, where's the steam in all the columns that you write? Okay. That's not steam. That's not picking up steam. I don't get it. All right. I want to quickly touch on the Florida State thing since I'm wearing my Florida State gear today. You are too. We didn't even plan this, but away we go.
You copied me, per usual.
I did. Went down yesterday, and we're going to get into this much more detail later on in the show at the top of the 11. But yesterday, reports came out that Vince Tyre turned down Florida State University, and that is completely untrue. As the reports that he was going to get the job were untrue, because Tyre was feeding Pat Forty and a lot of these other media people a false narrative. And that's why we told you that's not happening yet, folks. It's happening. Hold on. So while Pat Forty, the great Sports Illustrated reporter, Sports Illustrated now, whoever he's with, and he's a great writer, really good college football guy, fantastic. But he got it wrong. A lot of people got it wrong because they listened to Vince. And I told you, just hold on. It's not done yet. They're re-vetting him. A lot of this backlash has come back from me and a lot of actually important people. Went to the Florida State hierarchy and said, hey, we got to look at this guy. The search firm may be pulling a fast one, as they did when Vince got the job in Louisville. The Korn Ferry search firm plucked him out of nowhere, thin air, no experience, and said he's the guy. What? And he wasn't the guy. Same thing almost happened at Florida State. It's a scam. It's a complete scam. You had other guys that were way more qualified, like Alford, who got the job. Those guys were way more qualified, and you were going to hire this guy. Why did Korn Ferry pick them? Because it's a scam. This is a search firm scam. And luckily, FSU avoided complete crisis. They avoided it because, somebody put it on pause for 48 hours. They did a little bit more digging, and they pulled the offer. He did not turn the offer down. FSU pulled the offer. They told him not to get on the plane. It's not going to happen. And then he had already sent in his resignation letter to Louisville, and they said, yeah, we're not rescinding it. They didn't want him back. So, I'm sorry that Vince doesn't have a job today, but he's rich. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I'm not worried about him, but more importantly, FSU will be fine. as Michael Alford's been doing a great job with Seminole Boosters, raising a lot of money. So they hired him. It's kind of seamless transition from being the CEO booster to the athletic director's position. He's already worked with all these people. He works well with Mike Norvell. And now FSU's got to get going. They got to get going with their NIL money and keep this class together. All right, quick break. When we come back, Anthony Becht is going to join us, and we'll do more on Florida State at the top of the 11. Guys, we'll get into a lot more of the details of what happened behind the scenes. Anthony Becht coming up in 3 minutes. Stay with us.
Who wants free mobile service? I do, and you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up. Is your health care way too expensive? Well, with the new Biden administration, health care laws have changed dramatically. Now you can get health care insurance through the Affordable Care Act for little or no cost to you. In fact, with the new laws, 90% of Americans qualify for reduced or free health care. Great plans like Florida Blue. That's my carrier. Absolutely love them. I'm paying $600 less after making the call. 877-652-0244. The representative will walk you through the whole process. Just get some basic information on your income, number of kids, and then they'll find a plan that best fits your needs. They know all the intricacies of these new laws. They will do all the work. You save tons of money. This opportunity will not last long, and you'll have to wait till 2022 to get the deal. So give them a call. It's real health insurance, free doctor visits, free blood work, no deductibles. 877-652-0244. 877-652-0244. Are you in the market for a refinance or looking for a new home? You got to call my man, Fitz the Mortgage Guy, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. I have got literally a notebook here of testimonials on what a great job he's done for so many of our listeners. Scott saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. He didn't give money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not just a mortgage broker. He's like a financial counselor, and he's passionate to get you the lowest rate and keep you from paying those upfront lender fees. You know those folks that say, we'll pay your closing costs? Well, then they come back and hit you with all these other fees. Folks, go to a local guy who's got a great reputation, been in the business for 20 years here, done 3,000 local mortgages. Scott Fitzgerald. Email him. Scott.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on Fan Stream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. Let's welcome in our good friend Anthony Becht, longtime NFL superstar, played for the Bucs, a few other teams as well. Now one of the best analysts in the business, college and pro. And saw him last night at the big Ryan Neal holiday extravaganza. How are you, my friend? You're better than me. I'm a little hungover today.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'll tell you, you sound good. So
okay.
you know how to turn that switch on. I'll tell you that.
Hey, I've been fooling him for a long time, brother. It's what I do. Oh, but it's great to see you and your lovely wife, Deidre, last night. A lot of friendly faces. I'm sure you saw some of your old teammates last night. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Ryan's a hell of a guy, isn't he? You keep coming back and keep giving back. Like, you do it all. We were talking about this yesterday. One of the great things about having professional teams in our area is guys like you that stick around and give back to the community, coaching high school football, your camps over the summer. I mean, it's really a treasure to have you guys do what you do, man. I really appreciate it too. So, and I know the community does.
No, that's great. Always good to give back and, do your little part in life. But yeah, Ryan does a great job. He's, he's someone that I watched when I was a player as he did everything he's done over the last, 20, almost 20 years. So it's been fun to be around it, and, we enjoy it.
Yeah. All right, big game for the Bucs this week as the Bills come to town and bring a really good defense. We spoke with Sal Capaccio yesterday, the Bills sideline guy. Great dude. We're going to replay that interview after you, my friend. And he's telling me Starlo Tulele probably won't play. They don't know yet. He's got a toe injury. And the bottom line is you can run on this Bills defense. They're very good against the pass, but you can run on them. Do you think the Bucs will, they've been throwing the ball more than anybody in the league. Do you switch up there and do a little bit more running? I mean, you're not going to abandon what you do best, right?
No, absolutely. You look at kind of what they've done and, in particular that last game. I think the one thing that, you watch them on film is, it's not going to be that look that they gave the Patriots. I mean, right. Which is probably is going to be the toughest look you're ever going to try to run against a team because they had everybody in the box and the Patriots did a great job, but they can't play that against the Buccaneers. So they'll get back in that shell, that zone shell, and they're going to try to pass rush with four guys. And, right now, I mean, you don't have 9 in the box to stop the run, and they couldn't do it with 9. So you're right. I think there's an opportunity there for the Buccaneers to run the ball. And, Bills are going to try to make a statement. Obviously, they want to bounce back and try to make a right. But, man, a short week, a physical game that they played, and some question marks. It's and on the road, it's definitely going to be a challenge.
Yeah, take me through that as a player. I mean, how's your body feel? I mean, after a game where it's 27 degrees outside, the wind's blowing 60, it's a physical, you literally running, they're running at you 70 times in a game. If you're a defensive player for the Bills this week, what's your body feeling like right about now?
Well, yeah, they probably did, as much as McDermott was probably pissed and wanted to bang a little bit in practice, they probably did nothing till Thursday, and that was probably uppers only. Yeah. I would have said it would have been fine, but the style of play of that game really kind of changed the whole narrative of the week. I outside of the weather and knowing how the Patriots are going to try to play that game, it was a very physical game. I mean, clearly those guys, getting off from that performance, they're going to be banged up. They're going to be pissed. There's going to be a lot of coaches giving a lot of hard, constructive criticism, and some guys take it differently. And, sometimes that, doesn't allow you to focus the way you want. So, all those things kind of put together, actually, I think is a little bit of an advantage for the Bucs. But, the Bills have kind of been like this for the last couple of weeks now. It's not just this game where they kind of got beat up and manhandled a bit. I mean, outside of the Jets win, they have not been productive at all. I don't really believe I don't think they've beat a real good team yet in a long time. So this is an opportunity for the Buccaneers to beat a team that everybody thought was going to be one of the top AFC teams. They are, but I think right now they're kind of real. And even on offense, they really haven't been impressive with all the weapons they have.
Yeah, I mean, they've come basically one-dimensional. They don't really even try to run the football, and you don't really run on the Bucs anyway. So, they've got 4, I think, really good receivers and guys that are tough to cover man-to-man, and they're probably going to spread it out and let, Josh run around and find guys. And, that could be effective against the Bucs, especially if they're, if they go down a corner or two. They're not the Bucs are not the best man-to-man team, and trying to cover the Diggs and even Cole Beasley as their 4th receiver. These guys are quick. They can get open and find some space. That's going to be a challenge for the Buccaneers secondary, is it not?
Yeah, look, Josh likes to make a play every play. He rarely tries to, get get out of something if he doesn't have to. He will extend if you don't rush him properly, and then they're going to run him quite a bit in the game, whether it's designed or just off of pressure. They have to press the pocket well. I mean, he's a big guy. You have to hit him hard, and multiple guys will have to bring him down. But he'll start getting into that. He'll start becoming that old Josh Allen. If you start hitting him, knocking him down, forcing him out of bounds. He's really good on the run, throwing the ball and the move on the sidelines. He makes a ton of those plays. So the DBs really have to be on point when they're guarding those offensive receivers as far as just around the sideline area. It could be an advantage to him, but it's extremely hard when you see a quarterback move and then all of a sudden the receiver kind of does whatever he wants. So they really do a good job of being on the same page on that.
And I'm hearing a little bit that Richard Sherman might be able to play this week. At this point in his career, not a game changer, but I think it is interesting that he's going to move to safety as Rondé did late in his career. It seems like an interesting move because he's a guy that plays a lot with his eyes on the quarterback anyway. And he obviously has great ball skills and great instincts. It takes a while to learn that position, obviously, but can he be effective in that role, or do you think they'll use him in more of a cover guy, up in press, or maybe a little zone that they're going to play underneath?
Yeah, I'd say more zone. I don't know. I mean, I just worry about just kind of reading and get the sideline to sideline. I mean, obviously he's only going to have a half or a quarter of the field to do that, but he does have great eyes, and the instinct's different in that position than it is a corner. I mean, he's a pro, and if anybody could do it, it's him. But I just don't really see him. He's not really providing anything for me. I think it's great that he's there. He's smart. He can be in the right spot, but he's banged up. He cleared a bunch of injury. He really hasn't done much. I mean, that one game he played and got a bunch of tackles. You fall into those things. I mean, they probably were trying to go that way, if anything, whether they're running or passing. So he's not a detriment, but at the same token, I just don't, I don't know what he's going to bring to the table as extra. He's a body that they need. He's past his prime, and he's going to be a guy that you're going to tell him what to do. He's going to be able to do it the first time you tell him. Hopefully those experiences as he's played in over his career can help them in certain situations. But, I just don't, he's a body right now, right? He's kind of like whatever. Yeah. I mean, I just think he's a little past of what he's been in the past.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Anthony Becht joining us here. So how do you think this plays out? The Bucs are slight favorites in this game. I think it's a bad spot for Buffalo right now. I mean, they're probably in desperation mode though. Now that the Patriots have won 7 in a row, the division is slipping away from them. And boy, the Patriots don't look like they're slowing down anytime soon. They're getting better. So this is this desperation time for Buffalo. How do you think this plays out on Sunday?
It is. I mean, they haven't reacted well under pressure at this point. I mean, the fact that the Patriots didn't have to pass at all and they couldn't get anything going offensively when that's their strength, it's concerning. I watched them live. I watched them against Kansas City. I thought was one of the best complete football teams I saw at that point in the season. And all of a sudden, they're not the same team. So. They are. They're trying to find. I mean, Josh Allen's a really good player. He's somebody that has to be dealt with, but they don't have that complementary run game. They're not concerned about it, like you said either. Yeah. I do. I like the Bucs. I think it's a really, Bucs at home. They just understand what the implications are in general for what they need to control, and they want to go undefeated at home. I know it's important. And I just really see them coming out and really handling this game from start to finish.
Yeah, I would agree. I think at this point, it's just a bad matchup for Buffalo in this particular spot. Hey, wanted to get your thoughts on this because you're living it. You're going through it to some degree with Rocco. Those who don't know, Anthony's son Rocco is committed to Iowa State, has gone through the recruiting process, and it's unlike any other that has ever happened before with this NIL situation going on, name, image, and likeness. And I've got some really good sourcing out there that Travis Hunter was offered $250,000 a year. He's the number one recruit in the nation. He's committed to FSU and has been. Took a trip to Georgia and he was offered $250K a year. Marvin Jones Jr., similar situation in Alabama. And this is legal now, folks. Now, I know Iowa State's a little bit different. Rocco, a little bit different situation. Yeah. You're not taking $1 million. But, I mean, how is it for a parent to kind of navigate this whole thing that's going on right now?
Yeah, it's for us, it's different because obviously have a lot of experience, obviously, in that world from
Right.
being a former player. And, we've guided and taught our son, the rights and wrongs and what it means and how that can be a distraction, but yet, still be able to take advantage of the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's in a different situation. I don't know everybody's home life, but, a guy like Marvin Jones Jr., I played with his dad. His dad's been through that. He should be able to give him the knowledge he needs. And I just worry, you always worry about the players a little complacent as far as their drive.
Yeah.
You don't have some of them. I mean, obviously, if you're getting that kind of money, and I would say other money would follow if they follow through with their success. The NFL is, it's a dream, but not as much pressure. And I think there's a positive for that as well. So, it's these kids can help their families. They're going to take advantage of what they can. Hopefully the schools give them the guidance they need from a financial literacy standpoint, because there are going to be, 90+% of these kids aren't going to, be able to fathom that. And then also just be very cognizant of the players in the locker room, and some of your teammates and how this, affects some of those guys.
Right.
There's going to be guys on the team that are busting their butt, but they don't get that recognition and those opportunities. And, you don't want to give handouts. It's not about that too, but it's just about how you portray yourself and go about your business. So there's a lot of right ways to do it.
Yeah.
And there's a few wrong ways to do it, but those few wrong ways can be very, very eye-opening to the kids. So hopefully they get the guidance that they need. But you're right, it's a different time. I don't know how long it's going to last, what the restrictions are going to be, but I think it's going to be trending more of a self-employment thing at some point, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah,
they're going to have to, try and cap these things at some point. It's crazy out there right now, man. I don't know how teams are doing it. I don't know how schools doing it. I don't know how players are handling it. It's a wild, wild west right now. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out this year, because this is really going to be the first year that, literally millions of dollars are being handed out. I think there's a lot of positives to it, but, I think there also are a lot of drawbacks. Like Rocco's going to have to pay for
a lot of cash.
I know Rocco's going to have to pay for dinner every time he takes the line out to dinner, right? Come on, guys. It puts weird pressures on guys, but they'll figure it out. No doubt. Better to have it than not, as far as I'm concerned. Hey, quick, what do you think about the Final Four in the college football? Where it's hard to pick against Georgia, but you were the one last week though that told me Georgia's beatable. Georgia's very beatable. You've been saying that for weeks and weeks, and boy, you were absolutely right. I didn't realize that was the first time Alabama had faced the top 50. Georgia had faced the top 50 quarterback. You called it, brother. You called it.
Yeah. It's really both sides for Georgia. And I was actually shocked that Georgia didn't allow JT Daniels to play a little bit. I know the internal view is Stetson's this guy that guys kind of gravitate to, but when you're talking about getting you over the hump to the next level, I just think JT Daniels, and he hasn't played a lot now. He hasn't played much since he got hurt and before, but he hasn't lost the game in the Georgia uniform at all, since he's been there. So it looks like they're not going that route, which is interesting to me. It's like Nick Saban made a move in a national championship game that no one would have ever thought.
That's right.
And because, he knew, and he made a move like that. Only a few coaches could do those kind of things. Right now, I don't see that. So that's something for me. I think the matchup obviously is a little better for Georgia versus Michigan, because Michigan's not going to bring that type of offense. They don't have that skilled player on the outside. It's going to be a bang, hit you in the mouth kind of game. I think it can be a close game. Georgia's not going to blow them out by any stretch of imagination. They're going to have problems with Michigan's defense. And I actually think, look, Cincinnati's not going to be Bama, but I really think they're going to do some things that'll make the game interesting. This is their chance. Have nothing to lose in this game, and that's a scary team to play sometimes, regardless who you are. So they got some talent, they got some playmakers. Right, kids are good player, man, and he wants to go out, with a bang. So I know their schedule doesn't really measure up to these other schools, but in a one-game situation, in a in a neutral site, anything can happen. But I definitely see a close game, Georgia, Michigan. I think Cincinnati can do some things and make the game exciting as well versus Alabama.
It's going to be one hell of a New Year's Eve, no doubt about it. All right, Anthony, great stuff. Tell everybody how they can get your content out there, my friend.
Yeah, Anthony, for Becht on Twitter. That passes you through everything I do. So, man, just check it out and appreciate you having me on, but
thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a happy holidays to you and your lovely wife and your great family there, my friend. We'll chat down
you got
the
it,
line.
man. You too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Great Anthony Becht right there. All right. We will take a quick break. Come back on the other side. Sal Capaccio, the Bills sideline guy. We interviewed him yesterday. A really fun guy. You're going to find out some things about the Bills you didn't know and about Bills Mafia. If you're going to the game, you might need this information. Beware. Stay with us.
JP here for Roof Max. And if you own a home or business with an asphalt shingle roof, listen up. Shingles are made from a petrochemical, just like the roads, so they get old, get brittle, and have to be replaced for tens of thousands of dollars. But not anymore. Remember this name, Roof Max. They have created a natural bio oil that is professionally sprayed on a dried out roof. It doesn't clean it, coat it, or seal it. It actually penetrates the shingle and brings back its bendability and weatherproofing properties to almost new. So the question is, does it work? Yeah, the research was done by Ohio State University independently, and it's clinically proven to work. It's guaranteed for up to 15 years. Now, one of the sharks on Shark Tank invested in this, so you know it's great, and they've successfully rejuvenated tens of thousands of roofs. So yes, it worked. So don't shell out 20 grand for a new roof. Call Roof Max at 352-559-9981 or go to roofmaxnorthflorida.com. That's 352-559-9981. Get it done for a fraction of the price of a new roof, guaranteed. Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com. Who wants free mobile service? I do. And you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up. Is your health care way too expensive? Well, with the new Biden administration, health care laws have changed dramatically. Now you can get health care insurance through the Affordable Care Act for little or no cost to you. In fact, with the new laws, 90% of Americans qualify for reduced or free health care. Great plans like Florida Blue. That's my carrier. Absolutely love them. I'm paying $600 less after making the call. 877-652-0244. The representative will walk you through the whole process. Just get some basic information on your income, number of kids, and then they'll find a plan that best fits your needs. They know all the intricacies of these new laws. They will do all the work. You save tons of money. This opportunity will not last long, and you'll have to wait till 2022 to get the deal. So give them a call. It's real health insurance, free doctor visits, free blood work, no deductibles. 877-652-0244. 877-652-0244. Are you in the market for a refinance or looking for a new home? You got to call my man, Fitz the Mortgage Guy, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. I have got literally a notebook here of testimonials on what a great job he's done for so many of our listeners. Scott saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. Well, he didn't give them money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not just a mortgage broker. He's like a financial counselor, and he's passionate to get you the lowest rate and keep you from paying those upfront lender fees. You know, those folks say, we'll pay your closing costs. Well, then they come back and hit you with all these other fees. Folks, go to a local guy who's got a great reputation, been in the business for 20 years here, done 3,000 local mortgages. Scott Fitzgerald. Email him, Scott at amstampa.com. That's Scott at amstampa.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo, who's going to join us at 11:15 today, and we're going to talk about the Rays and the whole idea that there has been no pushback from the fans on the Sister City idea, which is what Mayor Castor said yesterday. So it is incumbent upon myself and everyone else who are Rays fans to get off their duff and let the mayor know. 813-274-8211. Say happy holidays. Like to talk to the mayor. I don't think that'll happen, but your voice will be heard. Or you can go to tampa.gov, go all the way to the right to government, and then it says contact the mayor's office, follow the prompts. You'll get to a form, and then just fill it out and put a little message in there. Hey, this is your pushback. We do not want a sister city plan. Do not spend any public money on half a year stadium. We're not going to do that. So let her know. That's what politics is all about. This isn't mean. This isn't going after the mayor. This is what we call the voice of the people. So let's let your voice be heard. All right. Yesterday we had a chance to talk with Sal Capaccio, who is the Bills sideline guy. Really, really fun guy, affable gentleman, as you will find out. And we talked about Bills and Bucks. Here it is. You are the only person that's left the beauty of Florida to go to Buffalo. What's wrong with you?
Well, voluntarily, yes, I think I am. I'm the only man who voluntarily chose to leave Florida to go to Buffalo, New York. But, this is home for me. I grew up here, and I grew up listening to Van Miller call the games and Rick Turner call hockey games. And,
wow.
I always wanted to be a part. I used to take a Greyhound bus from Syracuse University back to Bills games during the Super Bowl years. Those are my years in college. And I always, wanted to be doing this. I went to Syracuse for, to be in this business. And then here I am. I had an opportunity. I was down in Florida after this. I was a high school football coach and teacher for 10 years down at Lemon Bay in Englewood. And some opportunities arose and finally took the leap of faith to move back to Buffalo. And here I am on an NFL sideline.
Wow. What a dream job. I grew up, I'm a little older than you, in the Miami area, going to the Dolphins games when I was just a little kid, 17-0, watching the Juice come into the Orange Bowl with the Electric Company and Joe Ferguson, and on that awful turf down there, and watch Juice run for a couple hundred yards against the Dolphins. But those are the great rivalry back then. It was great stuff. So, and just to get right into it, one thing we love about Buffalo, and we're kind of sister cities. We, mediocrity for a while, then we both had some nice times, and now here we are back again, playoff teams, hopefully this year. I think the Bucs are going, and the Bills now kind of on the precipice a little bit. So it makes this game a little bit more interesting for the Bills. And I don't want to call it a must win, but pretty close, huh?
Yeah, it's a real big one for the Bills. They haven't been consistent this year. And under Sean McDermott, they've been such a consistent program. They really have. He's done a great job. Him and Brandon Beane coming in here, they've turned everything around. We had the longest playoff drought in North American professional sports going up until 2017. And then McDermott and Beane came in, and after 17 years, they break the drought. They go to the playoffs. Now it's 3 out of 4 years. They win the division. They essentially slay the dragon of what was the New England Patriots for 20 years. But now they've kind of taken a step back in that consistency. I still think they're a very good team. You'd be hard pressed to find a better roster in the AFC. But they put themselves in this position, and they got to go to Tampa, and it's a big game. Look, if they lose, it's not fatal, right? They're not going to miss the playoffs necessarily. But if they lose, they're in a spot. And if they win, they're on track to still have an opportunity to win the division because they still play the Patriots again in a couple weeks.
Right. So let's go back to that game. I mean, this puts the Buffalo in a tough spot. I mean, you were there on the sideline. I mean, my God, what conditions. And, typically it's hard enough to come on a short week and travel. I mean, the numbers are very much against the traveling team, the trends here. And then add to the fact you get, physically pounded by the I don't want anybody to get mad at me here. Physically pounded by the Patriots, but and now you got to come and play a very physical team in the Buccaneers. This is a tough task for Buffalo.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The game, I've been the radio network sideline reporter for 8 years. That was the worst wind I'd ever been involved in, home or away. It was pretty crazy. You really couldn't do anything. You really couldn't get a feel. I don't know if we learned anything much about either team after the game because of the wind conditions. I will tell you this. Boy, Josh Allen was only 15 of 30 for 145. I don't think any more human beings could have done any better in that win. It was pretty incredible what he was able to do in that win. That's why they drafted him, right? To play here in Buffalo in those kinds of conditions, and he rewarded them. But the run defense has been an issue with physical teams all year. The Colts came in here a few weeks ago. They ran for 267, and then the Bucs ran for 222. Now, I will point out, granted, as you know, JP, you can't take away a 64-yard run. It happened.
Yep.
But other than that 64-yard run, the Patriots handed the ball off 45 times and only averaged 3.9 yards a carry. The Bills did a good job against them. So it's what gives the Bills problems is physical offensive lines, not pass physical, run physical offensive lines. But they're such a great team against the pass that they can also try to make you one-dimensional. And I think that's where they at least have a more of a fighting chance in this game, which is the Patriots love to throw the ball around. Of course, we know how good they are throwing the ball.
Right.
Those are the number one pass defense in the league by yards and by play. They don't allow big plays. They make you work for everything you get in the passing game. And on the offense, I will say this. The Bills have Josh Allen and a great plethora of wide receivers. And I think you're going to see in this game, I predict Josh Allen throws the ball at least 40 times in this game. I think that's the Bills, what they think their path of victory would be in a pristine conditions and not in that kind of win.
Sal Capaccio joining us here, sideline reporter for the Bills. I totally agree. I mean, you can't run against the Bucs anyway. It's even though the Falcons had a little bit of success, most of that was on 2 plays. Like you say, you got to look at the games, not just the numbers. And I think that the Bucs pass defense is still very much a work in progress, but you got to protect Josh Allen. I know a tough guy to bring down. I think that's where the game comes down to. Can the Bills protect him and allow him time enough to get receivers open? The Bucs secondary is still a little banged up, but they might get Richard Sherman back this week, who could play safety of all things. They got Carlton Davis back, so the Bucs are getting healthier on defense. How do you see that matchup protection for Josh Allen?
Josh Allen's best protection sometimes is Josh Allen because of his mobility.
Yep.
He's so good. He reminds me a lot of, Ben Roethlisberger in his early years when even later, but, you just couldn't get him down and he could move around, or even Cam Newton in that regard. It was just, you think you have him and then you don't. And Josh just escapes. And he's such a physical presence himself. And the Bills actually have done a very good job. They're top 5 in the league in sacks allowed per pass attempt. But again, it doesn't mean that they're beating everybody every play on the offensive line. One of the things that's really hurt the Bills is not having a full offensive line. They've had a lot of injuries. They've COVID issues. They are pretty close to that. Now, we don't know if John Feliciano is going to be activated from IR. He's been practicing for about a week and a half. Even if he doesn't, they basically have now 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen back to where they want it to be. Feliciano would be the 5th if they get him back. So I agree with you. I think that is a very big part of the game. But I'll also tell you, I think that in this game, because of the Bucs' struggles in the secondary, I think Josh they're going to spread the field. They're going to go sideline to sideline. The Bills have the ability to put 4 very good wide receivers on the field, and Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis from UCF, as you guys know, Cole Beasley, and Emmanuel Sanders. And I think the Bills will do that to spread out the defense, mitigate that pass rush a bit, and have Josh try to pick his matchup. That's a good plan. It's worked against the Buccaneers. They've given up a lot of longer drives now because they can't, when you teams spread the field, they don't have enough good DBs that can play man-to-man. And, that short passing game, I think that's, if you're the Bills, that's exactly what you want to do. Sal Capaccio joining us here, Bills sideline guy. What's up with Star Lotulelei? And I asked that because he's a phenomenal player. He's got to be the key to the run defense. And one thing people don't realize about the Bucs is that as much as they throw the ball more than anybody, they can run the football when they want to. They have a very physical offensive line. And I think looking at this Bills defense, if I'm Bruce Arians right now and Byron Leftwich, I'm saying we need to run the football this week. We got to commit running the football. Other teams have had success, and then take our shots when we have to. I think this is a run game for the Buccaneers, and will Lotulelei play? Yes, I agree with you, because if you're looking at what has happened to the Bills, we talked about earlier, I think that's real big. Even if it's not your necessary path to success, it's going to open up what they can do maybe in the passing game. So I just came out of practice. I'm actually doing this with you after practice. And Star Lotulelei, he did not practice today. He has a toe injury. Now, he had just come off the COVID list. He had just started playing again. He was not there for that game against the Colts when they ran for 267. What the Bills did just 4 nights later, though, Thanksgiving in New Orleans, didn't have Star. What they did was they elevated Eli Ankou and Brandon Bryant from the practice squad, 2 300-pounders. And not to be funny, but size matters for the Bills.
Of course.
Here's why. The Bills are built to play defense in the 2021 passing league. I think they took a page out of what the Bucs did to beat the Chiefs last year in the Super Bowl and said, look, we got to get to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Their first 2 draft picks were Greg Rousseau and Boogie Basham on the defensive line. What the Bills are on defense, they're long, they're athletic, they're versatile. What they are not is super big, especially with Star Lotulelei. So if he doesn't play, I would expect Eli Ankou, Brandon Bryant, guys like that. It's a big loss for them. We don't know if he's going to play right now, but you miss you miss a practice at this point in the week,
Yeah.
It's not looking good. But you're right. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think that, with the Bucs trying to test them there, the Bills have to get bigger in that regard. If they elect to just stay smaller defensive line, then obviously that will hurt them.
All right, Sal, get to the stuff. Size does matter, especially when it's the Bills Mafia coming to town. It's tough tickets this week, so I know there's going to be a presence from, who the hell would want to get out of Buffalo right now and come to Tampa Bay, right? So I think it's the Bills Mafia is going to be here. What should we expect? I actually just want to go out into the parking lot and find some of these folks. And if I don't see somebody table dive, it's not going to be a full day for me. So what should we expect?
You will see it. And what you're going to see is there will literally be people at airports bringing folding tables. I'm not kidding. That happens in Buffalo. They bring folding tables with them on airplanes as their luggage so that when they get there, they can do crazy stuff with them. Look, I mean, there's all this stuff, this crazy stuff about Bills Mafia. And I just want to say for the record, it's kind of gotten a little out of hand. The real Bills Mafia, where it came from, is right out of a really good spot. There's a guy named Del Reed. He's a friend of mine. Him and a few other people started it a few years ago, and they have a company called 26 Shirts where you buy a T-shirt every 2 weeks. They rotate through with different Bills themes and things, and all the proceeds basically go towards people in need and kids and families in need. And then what happened was for 20 years the Bills stunk, and the people still had to come to games because then Sunday afternoon that's what you do in Buffalo, right? We love the Bills so much, and it wasn't about going into games; it was about tailgating, and people got drunk, and then smartphones and viral videos, and somebody lights themselves on fire, they jump through a table, and that becomes, this is Bills Mafia. It's really not, right? But your point is taken, and you're going to see some crazy stuff. I will tell you, Bills Mafia travels as well as any team in the league. There will be a lot of people there. This is a very, very tough ticket, as you alluded to.
Yeah.
My wife and son are coming down. Luckily, they got tickets. But I will tell you, even family members of players I've talked to, the secondary market is outrageous. And I think part of that is Bucs fans selling their to Bills fans who are either already there living, displaced Buffalonians, or coming to the game. And they will be there, and you will hear them, and they will make a difference. It's amazing to me when I go on the road and the home team has the ball, how loud it is sometimes in the stadiums.
Wow, that's we've been known to do that, we've been known to do that here in Tampa Bay. So I have a feeling it's definitely going to be a factor in this game. So it should be fun. All right, Sal, great stuff. Tell everybody how they can get your content, where to find you on Twitter. Man, you got 111 followers. What are you, Kim Kardashian? Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah, 111,000. I think it's cool. And no doubt, I appreciate every one of them. Obviously, I think here, not trying to do the pat on the self back thing. Because our sales department said, I think you're the most followed media member in every genre in Buffalo, which is really cool. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a badge of honor, and and I think that you have a responsibility that comes along with that. But thank you so much. At Sal Sports on Twitter. I'm on the Bills sideline of the radio network, but I'm on 10 to 12, just like you, every day here on WGR Sports Radio 550, the Bills flagship station. Do a lot of TV work for CBS here in Buffalo, Spectrum News, and I'm involved. I used to be a high school football coach down there, and I do play-by-play for high school games up here. I still love the passion of the high school games.
It's the best, isn't it?
As you know in this business, you got to be versatile, right?
Yeah,
you got to
open
yourself up and be willing to do everything, and that's what we try to do.
Well, you're doing a hell of a job, my friend. We really appreciate you taking the time. Hopefully you'll come on again, and hopefully I'll catch up with you on Sunday. Thanks, Sal.
Anytime, man. Say hi. I hope you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Sal Capaccio there at Sal Sports. Make it 112,000 followers for him. Great dude. Really enjoyed that conversation. Hope you guys did as well. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from the GOAT. Tom Brady chatted yesterday about this Buffalo team and his winning the Sportsman of the Year and from Sports Illustrated. We'll hear from him and Gronk and some of the other guys as well. So stay with us. Bucs talk coming up next.
Who wants free mobile service? I do, and you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
JP, Santa, and young St. Nick Get us right over here. My partner for the Gold and Diamond Source. You hear that? Christmas music. It's Christmas time. You just popped a question to your lady from the Gold and Diamond Source diamond that you got.
Yes, I did. The Golden Diamond Source, the best place to go get your diamond for an engagement. They helped me out so much. They were so courteous to me for somebody who's so nervous. And it's Christmas time, like you said. If you're thinking about popping the question, you need to go to Gold and Diamond Source.
It's the Jewelry Super Center, fully stocked, fully staffed, and yes, just a short drive from downtown Tampa or wherever you're coming from, right there on Ulmerton Road. Avoid the madness at the malls. And whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for that 10-carat custom design, they have it all. 9 jewelers in-house ready to make your dreams come true. Even layaways, 100% interest-free financing up to 5 years. Shop now for your best selection at the Gold and Diamond Source and make your lady wonderfully happy, like Nick did. That's absolutely. Shop anytime online at thegoldanddiamond.com.
Hey, JP here for the Black Rock Bar and Grill, and they got a new menu out, Johnny. This is unbelievable. Some incredible burger creations. Here's my new favorite, mac and cheese burger. Half pound of certified Angus beef, American cheese, bacon, finished with our macaroni and cheese. Are you kidding me? Or a nacho burger with fried jalapenos, grilled onions. They got a ghost pepper chipotle burger. That's hot. Or the Fat Elvis burger. I mean, there's so many good burgers on this thing. It's amazing. What do you like?
I've been taking a look at the seafood section of this summer menu. 8 jumbo shrimp. Unbelievable, man. And it goes perfectly with their burgundy mushrooms.
Oh, I love the mushrooms.
It's delicious.
So good. Of course, you get the steak on a 755-degree stone. You cook it right there in the garlic butter, the casino butter. It's fillets. You can do your shrimp on it, your chicken. It's unlike any other place. It's the Black Rock Bar and Grill. You got to go. It's a new menu. Tell them JP sent you. Brandon and Carrollwood. Get to the Black Rock.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right. Head over to Walmart and get your folding tables now. They're going to sell out of folding tables for Bills Mafia. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. If you have any issues with your home in terms of, say you just built a home and you have some construction issues that they don't want to make good on, well, hire an attorney, and that attorney is Christopher Palermo. He's recovered millions and millions of dollars for his clients, and he will give you a free consultation. So if you think you have a case, well, find out for sure. Go talk to a very experienced lawyer who the insurance companies don't like dealing with, and that's why he's on your side. Christopher Palermo. Go to PalermoPA.com, and you can get all his information right there, and go give him a call and get a free consultation. See if you got a case. All right, and he'll join us at 11:15. We'll talk more Rays. Then I want to talk right now about the Buccaneers and their march to the Super Bowl. Has it? Sometimes we're so close to it. Sometimes I feel like is there the level of excitement in the city now for this team? I mean, we're going to get to Lightning, by the way. Another big win for them last night up at Toronto. What they're doing is just ridiculous right now. But is there, do you sense a buzz about the Buccaneers this year? Is there Bucs fatigue? It's like, we're so good now that we're just taking it for granted that we're heading for the Super Bowl again.
I'm still very excited. To me, where my excitement comes in is last year I felt cheated because we didn't get the full experience.
True.
I felt like with fans,
right.
True road games. The Bucs are doing all that this year. So this is like my first year really of fandom and being around this team, of seeing the whole thing come full circle. So I'm enjoying that. But with that being said, when Sundays roll around now, don't get me wrong, I'm watching the Bucs game, but I'm maybe not as, diehard, into it this year.
Interesting.
Because, the chase is always, it's only down from there.
Right.
With the excitement, obviously. The chase last year was really cool. I was really tense, maybe because the Bucs were not playing well. Right now, the Bucs are rolling, I feel like, and I don't think anybody's going to stop them. And I just have this confidence now on a Sunday, they're going to win the game.
Yeah.
And before I used to be tense. I think that myself.
Lack of drama almost.
Lack of drama.
Like
exactly.
We're going to the playoffs. We're almost a shoo-in to win the South. So I think it's almost like we're like, okay, let's get through the motions and get through the playoff, but you can't do that. I mean, certainly the players aren't thinking that way. But I would think it's always interesting to talk about what the vibe is like here in the city. I mean, tickets are they're really, really tough ticket this week. An upper deck ticket is going to cost you $250. Think about that. $250 for an upper deck ticket this week. That's all. I can't remember when I don't even think the Dallas game was that, because at the Dallas game, the opener
came down. It started going down.
Dropped precipitously at game time. You can get a ticket for $50 outside the stadium for the opener. So hopefully it'll be that way this week if you're thinking about going. But I don't think so, because there's a lot of Bills Mafia people coming down here. I thought that might wane a little bit after they got their ass kicked, and they're kind of in a tailspin. So I don't know. All right, my computer's being a little balky here, so I'll let you drive the train here as far as the sound goes. Brady talked yesterday, the new Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year. Still shocked by that. Not because he didn't deserve it. It's just because it's become such a political award for many, many years. To give it to the GOAT was great, well deserved, but it is what it is. What do you got?
It was obviously an incredible
talking about SportsPerson,
very humbling experience for me just to have something like that. There's been so many amazing people that I've kind of had that awarded to them. I said the other night, I feel uneasy because it's a team sport, and everything I do is because of my teammates, my coaches, the support of my family that put me in a position to succeed. So it's a lot different playing football than playing golf or tennis or something like that, which they might mean a little bit more to you when you do that. And it's not that it's not an amazing thing. I think it's a tribute to what everybody does, what everybody accomplishes. Football is the ultimate team sport. You can't do anything without the help of everybody else. And I'm just grateful to have, amazing teammates, coaches, organization, and the support of my family and friends.
What else would he say? But that's, it underscores the team aspect. And of course, always bringing it back to his teammates and thanking his guys, that humility, I don't want to say it's false humility, because it's not. I think it's a reason why Brady is so popular with his teammates. I think it is true humility. He really understands that, especially him. I mean, it's not like he's Lamar Jackson out there. He has to have great protection. He has to have great weapons to be as great as he is. I mean, we think we saw the last year in New England that with pedestrian people around him, he's pretty pedestrian. I think that's fair.
Yeah, and a lot of people love to play that game. Well, Tom can't carry a team anymore. I don't remember when he's ever carried a team. No. I don't recall many people in this league carrying a team, to be honest.
And frankly, you don't want that. How many playoff games has Lamar Jackson won? One?
I'll give you the greatest example, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
This guy's been ever since
he's won a Super Bowl and probably.
But that's when he had the defense around him.
Yeah, true.
Since the defense fell off, it's been Russ. And guess what? They win 10 games, 11 games every year, but they're not winning a Super Bowl. And this year it's bottomed out. That's what happens. It's just too much for guys.
Yeah, and when Kansas City won the Super Bowl with Mahomes, obviously he was a huge part of it, but their defense was pretty good that year.
At the beginning of the year, when his defense was doing nothing, the offense, they were doing too much, and they were 4-4. Last 4 games, their defense like top 5 in the league. Guess what? They're on a 4-game win streak.
That's a great point. If you got a quarterback that you're putting everything on like Lamar, your chances of winning every week go down, because there's going to be games when he's not Superman. And he's got to, and the other part of that is your team tends to count on that. They stand around and look and wait for him to do something. It's like when you lose. I think like it was kind of like in the beginning for the Lightning when they lost Kucherov, right? Guys were looking around like, well, he's not here. I guess I got to go do this now. Oh yeah, and it took them a while, for Killorn and Zorelli and all these guys to kind of figure it out. Like, we got to go make plays happen now. We can't just kind of wait for Kucherov's magic to come out, and they did it, to their credit. But again, I mean, Brady is the ultimate team player. He makes everyone around him better, and he doesn't make mistakes, and that's why he is the GOAT.
And of course, the man who presented them with that award was Rob Gronkowski, and that's been a popular thing this week at both their press conferences and Bruce's, getting questions about their connection. I get the sense if Bruce gets one more question about Brady and Gronk's connection, he's going to lose it, because he's having to give away much more than he wants to.
Yes,
but Brady did talk about yesterday his nonverbal communication with Gronk.
Gronk go catch ball.
I think that we play together. I know basically every situation that's come up. I know how he would deal with it. I mean, so much about football is anticipating what the problems will be, as opposed to trying to figure out how to solve the problem after the play. I think a lot of it's solving the problem before things happen. And Gronk he knows what I'm thinking. I know what he's thinking. We've just done it so long together. So it's really nice. It's a great luxury for two position players like that to play together for as long as we have.
Continuity is not spoken enough about, in my opinion, in the NFL. The continuity wins. Coming back every year with the same offense, a lot of the same players, building on what you did the year before is a tremendous advantage in this league. Tremendous advantage in this league. It's why when you see teams, knee-jerk reactions, firing coaches like Jacksonville should do, we'll get into that. It doesn't work, and one of the reasons the Pittsburgh Steelers have been so successful is, even though Mike, I don't think Tomlin's ever had a losing season. I think Chuck Noll had one. But it's not like they won the Super Bowl every year. There are teams that win 8, 9, 10 games, go to the playoffs, and they fire their coach. They get to Marty Schottenheimer. I mean, you get tired of going to the playoffs. You get tired of going to the play. You keep knocking on the door. Eventually, you're gonna knock it down. And this is what Brady's enjoyed all his life. Now, last year was the first time he didn't have that. But having Gronk last year was a winning edge, and having him this year, I always knew Gronk was a great player, but watching him up close each and every day, and how he handles his business and how he plays, I have much bigger appreciation for him. And that they're simpatico, nonverbal, whatever the hell they got going, man. It's special.
Yeah, and I think everybody thinks of Gronk as like the big goofball, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reputation that he has. But when you hear him speak, and
I'm special. Best line ever.
But no, when you hear him speak at some of these things, the football intelligence in him kind of comes out a lot of times. I think he doesn't get enough credit for how smart he is on the field. I mean, he was in that rigid environment in New England as well. I think maybe that may have rubbed off on him. And he's carried it here along with. I think he's equally as important to the culture. Just probably doesn't get enough. He'll never get the credit for it, though.
I loved it earlier this year when he was like, "I don't even watch film." I mean, it was so good. It was like, really? And people were like, really? He doesn't? Yeah, I just, Tom tells me where to go, and I go. I don't have to watch the film. He's watching the film. He's watching the film, folks. And people are like, wow, he doesn't watch film. No. It's just the character he plays, man.
He
plays it so well.
And if you're watching the game, I mean, there's an art, I think. And I've never played football. It's hard for me to understand the game sometimes. But there is definitely an art to finding a zone and sitting in it. Like, it's not just easy. It's not that easy.
Talent.
There's a talent to it. And a guy like that who's 32 years old, has had all these injuries, retired, he's getting matchups on safeties and corners who are a hell of a lot more athletic than he is. He may not be running the bricks off people, but you give him all he needs is one little arm reach extension.
Little extension like you did on that touchdown last week.
Yeah, there is an art to that, man.
And not getting called.
And I mean, he is one of the smartest players the game has probably ever known.
I totally agree. What else we got?
And speaking of Gronk and Brady, there was actually a nice little back and forth here about him being mean to Gronk in his rookie season.
Oh, was he mean to Gronky?
I guess Gronky said that earlier.
Gronky said he was mean?
He's a little mean.
Oh, let's listen.
Saying yesterday you were mean to him in his first year.
It was intentional. I try to toughen him up a little bit. I got to see what I'm working with. It's hard to. These kids have it so easy these days. We got to try to challenge them a little bit.
That's awesome. But there's truth to it. You got to find out what you're working with. If you're a good leader, everybody's buttons are different. You got to learn how to motivate people. And you got to find out what their hot buttons are, like what makes them good. And if you're a good coach or a good leader like Brady, you got to figure that out. You got to figure out what you're working with. He clearly knows how to handle the Gronk.
And of course, before we end with Brady here, we have to go to Robot Brady. We got to do Robot Brady of the
cliche meter.
Cliche meter.
All right, here we go.
Talking about the Bills.
Let's go. Here we go. Count them up.
I think they're really well coached.
Ding.
They do. They play really hard.
Ding.
Very tough team.
Ding.
Very resilient team.
Ding ding.
So they challenge you in every way. Last year they were in the AFC Championship game. They obviously got a dynamic offense.
Ding.
And the top defense in the league.
Ding, ding.
So tough challenge. Really good up front. Really good linebackers.
Ding ding ding.
Safeties have played together a long time, so They work well together. They do a lot of great things. So it's be a great environment for football.
Ooh, I was like,
went off the rails just a little bit at the
kind
end.
of 13 and 22 seconds.
13 dings.
That's impressive. That's really impressive. You strung those together quite nicely.
If someone tells you, please go ahead and describe a dynamic offense, where do you begin?
It's funny. Little how the sausage is made here. We were doing the MOR pregame show, and we've got to go back and get sound bites, to do promos and things like that to put in. And they were like, "Hey, did we get the Brady interview this week?" And I was like, "Does it matter?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, he says the same thing he's going to say about the Giants. He said 4 weeks ago. So he literally went back 4 weeks ago and we didn't say that he was talking about the Giants. It was just more of a, this is how Brady, attacks another defense. We literally went back 4 weeks ago and grabbed a soundbite that would work for any week, just to have Brady in the piece. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he's going to say the same things. It's part of the game. It's sort of a stupid game we play with these interviews. That's why sometimes it's. I mean, I like the X's and O's stuff. I'm a football geek that way, and I do. But you gotta really phrase a question in a way that you're going to get something that's meaningful. I'm guilty about this too. You get lazy and you're like, oh, talk about their defensive line. It's you got to be more. You got to be more. Take somebody specifically. A trait that they have, this particular corner is really, really good in man-to-man. How does that affect your game plan in terms of, do you just, allow him to erase Mike Evans from the game plan, or because number one, they're not going to give you any inside information as far as their game plan goes, but maybe you might be able to get a little bit of something on how good he feels this particular guy is and how that might affect the game.
Yeah. And I maybe I'm a little weird like this, but I go and watch a lot of Bill Belichick's pressers for fun. For fun.
Well, you are.
I'm a football.
This is why you think Spider-Man's going to be a good movie.
Just shut your mouth. We'll get. I'll have a nice back and forth with you later on that one. You're whatever movie you
watch
saw.
Belichick for entertainment. My God,
he's entertaining. He's got a great cadence too, man.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah, on to Cincinnati.
Well,
pretty good defensive line, and
yeah.
It's exciting.
It's very exciting.
It's kind of funny
because one press conference, he'll get one of those insightful questions, and he's a great mind. We know that when you see him anywhere out of the press conference and he speaks, he's brilliant. When he gets like one question a press conference where one of the reporters will ask him something, and he'll go on and talk about it for like a few minutes. Like that's what he'll do. It won't just be like 30 seconds. It'll be like minutes of an answer he'll do. We talked earlier in the year, he got that question about long snapping, and he goes in on a 10-minute diatribe on the history of longs, and he remembered every date in his head.
I know.
Year. That guy is wired. Like, that's entertaining to me.
It's interesting when you do get guys to open up like that. By the way, if you've never seen the Saban Belichick documentary,
awesome.
It's fantastic. I mean, it really does show him in a completely different light than you've ever seen him before. And it does really, and I think he opens up more because he's with a guy he really, really respects tremendously. Their football knowledge, they're freaking clones of each other. They really are. I mean, they're just the way they think, how they think, and it's no freaking surprise that these two guys are the best in the business. What they do, their approach is almost exactly similar. If you're a coach, if you're not watching that as a master class in how to coach or how to be a leader, you're missing out. They're brilliant. They're brilliant every way they are.
And in the year 2021, Bill Belichick and Nick Saban still on top of the sports world. Sean McVay, Sean McDermott, all the young coaches. Every time they face a Belichick, they get schooled. Saban, Kirby Smart, the young guy, Lane Kiffin. Sorry, everybody wants to fall in love with these young guys. The old guard ain't going anywhere.
It's funny when you think about it, like when you play in the Patriots, like you saw it from McDermott last week after the game. He did not want to give Belichick any credit whatsoever. And it was just silly. It was silly. Dude, it's like, he just coached the pants off you.
You just got to admit you got schooled.
You got schooled.
I mean, and he's a top 10 coach in the NFL, but just to me, Belichick, if anything we've learned this year, he's still the best coach in the NFL, and there's probably a pretty good margin underneath it.
Do you think like these other, it's like, okay, you get done with the game, now you got Patriots week, right? if you're Arians, like he went through it this week, you got to be breaking down film and coming up with your game plan. It's like going to play, chess against Boris Spassky. Like, you're going to get schooled. Like, he's just better than you. He's got a better mind, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you're probably looking to like, he's going to do this and he's going to do this, but you're second guessing yourself every moment. And it's got to be like just a mind F, It's like, it's got to be up in your head. You can just tell it was for McDermott.
I mean, it got to be in the Super Bowl 3 years ago for McVay. They had the league's highest offense, and you go into the Super Bowl. What, they scored 3 points?
3 points.
3 points.
3 points.
On Bill Belichick. The other night, I swear Bill Belichick did that on purpose.
Of course he did.
Went in there and said, I'm going to throw no more than 3 times, and we're going to win this game because I say so.
Yeah.
Like that's some kind of heat
and
behind the
was
scenes.
Right. They had one big run.
That's it.
But that's all he needed. See, he knew that. If he needed more, he would have done more. But he didn't. It's so simple.
That's why I tell you.
Brilliant.
And that's what I tell you. If you go watch Bill Belichick speak, it's fascinating.
You overthink yourself and then you just lead. I drew that analogy with Nicholas the other day, and Jack Nicklaus talks about this all the time, is that when he would be in contention for major championships, guys would show up on Sunday in his group and they would already be thinking about how I've got to shoot 62 today to beat Jack. And it's like, that's the stupidest thing you could do, because you're taking yourself out of your own game. You're doing something that you wouldn't normally do at a course in a major championship that doesn't have a 62 in it. It's foolhardy. What you need to do is stay within yourself and play your game, and maybe you'll beat him. But people think they have to do something extraordinary. They go out of their comfort zone and they F it up. And that's the genius of it. All right. Quick break. When we come back, Christopher Palermo is going to join us. He's the man behind those ads that you see about the Sister City plant on television. He's also our title sponsor, and he is a 5-generation Tampanian and very passionate about the Rays. And we got a job to do, folks. We got to give the mayor an earful, in a very nice and respectful way, by the way, about the Sister City plan. She evidently hasn't heard any pushback. Download the app, Mayor. You're about to hear a lot of pushback. Tap that app, Mayor. Back in a second.
Are you in the market for a refinance or looking for a new home? You got to call my man, Fitz the Mortgage Guy, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. I have literally a notebook here, testimonials on what a great job he's done for so many of our listeners. Scott saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. They didn't give him money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not just a mortgage broker. He's like a financial counselor, and he's passionate to get you the lowest rate and keep you from paying those upfront lender fees. You know those folks that say, we'll pay your closing costs? Well, then come back and hit you with these fees. Folks, go to a local guy who's got a great reputation, been in the business for 20 years here, to 3,000 local mortgages. Scott Fitzgerald. Email him, scott@amstampa.com. That's scott@amstampa.com. Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com. Hey, did you start a new gig, a little side hustle during COVID? Well, if you don't have business insurance, you could be risking your personal fortune. That's how it works. JP here for Italiano Insurance. That's right. If you don't have business insurance, you can get sued and lose everything you've worked for. Not a good idea. Call the good folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. And if you have existing business insurance, shop it around. They could save you thousands of dollars as well. 813-877-7799. Who wants free mobile service? I do. And you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
JP, Santa, and young Saint Nick. Get us right over here. My partner for the Gold and Diamond Source. You hear that? Christmas music. It's Christmas time. House ready to make your dreams come true. Even layaways, 100% interest-free financing up to 5 years. Shop now for your best selection at the Gold and Diamond Source and make your lady wonderfully happy like Nick did. That's absolutely. Shop anytime online at thegoldanddiamond.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We really appreciate you guys listening. Our numbers are going through the roof recently, so we're up on YouTube now. So check us out, subscribe on YouTube. We're also on Twitter and Facebook live every day, and don't forget to download that app and tap that app once a day. It's all you got to do. The show will pop up anytime, anywhere. Start right from the beginning. You'll get the best 2 hours of Tampa Bay centric sports talk that you can find anywhere, and we really appreciate all of our sponsors who make this possible and all the folks that are listening and making this possible. And that man, as our title sponsor, Christopher Palermo, joins us now. What's up, Christopher? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, JP. How you doing?
Oh, you sound like really cool and laid back, and I know you're not. I know you're
I'm
pissed off.
fired up. No, buddy, I am fired up. No. This is just, listen, I don't want to come in too hot. I'm still in the bullpen right now. I'm coming out.
All right, we're bringing in the right-hander. Let's bring him in. We're bringing him in. So yesterday I went on a little diatribe rant that is going semi-viral when I heard the mayor say that she hasn't heard any pushback against this sister city plan. And I said, and I texted you right away when the article came out, and I'm like, his head's going to explode when he reads this. It's just, and I'm not, listen, we're not going after the mayor. I want to make this clear. We're not, we're pushing back where she needs to hear the voice of the people. And that's what we're going to do.
Well, you know what, JP, this is specifically where I draw major issue with the mayor. Okay, when she made that statement that I haven't heard much pushback. The people bending my ear just care about keeping the team at all costs. Well, guess what? That's not a true statement.
It's not.
So, no, we're going to call her out. Listen, let me tell you something. I called her office today, and I left a very strong message on her voice message. Her assistant called me back today. I laid it out again, and her assistant sounded pretty beat up. I'm going to be honest with you. There was a resignation in her voice, like, oh, another one of these? You damn right, another one of these.
Good.
We're here. Listen, and this is JP. You know what? I appreciate you. Sometimes I feel you and I are the only two folks in the wilderness here willing to put some steel in our spine and fight this.
Yeah.
And what's happening is that Stuart Sternberg operates like the way a typical kind of in the back smoky rooms. You know, this deal, Stuart thinks that he's able to walk around and tiptoe in the shadows, creeping, working, bending people's ears. And listen, you can't do this to the people. We're the people. We put you in office. And if you are going to work with Stuart Sternberg in some nefarious, dark manner and completely ignore the people, you will pay, Jane Castor. You will not be mayor in 2023, Jane Castor. I hope you're listening to this right now. And I told your assistant this. If you do not negotiate with Stuart Sternberg from a position of strength,
right,
you will not be mayor in 2023. I'm telling you, you won't be.
I said it yesterday in my rant that she will pay a political cost if she thinks there's no pushback on this. And Ken Hagan knows this as well. This is why Ken has been very, very, very upfront. And he's been as diplomatic as he needs to be for the Rays to get them to the table. Yeah. But you've heard him on this program. He has no intentions of this being a split season deal. And I think he's smart enough to know that Major League Baseball, I mean, Ken played baseball at Florida. He knows the business of baseball. He's been at this for 10 years, and he knows damn well that the Major League Baseball Players Association is not going to allow this to happen. It's just not going to happen. And by the way, and this Romano column is just so freaking it's so tone deaf. And again, it's full of false narratives. And I want to just throw this one at you. In his column, he says, yet after planning and searching from 2015 to 18, team officials were discouraged by what they hinted was a lack of corporate support behind the original Ybor plan that eventually led to their belief that there was not enough money in Tampa Bay to sustain an average Major League Baseball payroll. Okay, that is the biggest bunch of horse shit that I've ever heard.
I want to address this.
Okay? Yes, please.
You and I talked about it. Guess what? Hey, and Stuart, I know you're listening. You're probably holed up somewhere listening. But I'm going to tell you this, and Brian, all you, guess who's coming out soon? JP and I are working on getting members of Rays 2020 to come out and expose you all as liars.
That's right.
There was tens of millions of dollars pledged through Rays 2020.
Yes.
You are lying, Brian Auld. You are lying, Stuart Sternberg.
Yep.
You are lying, Matt Silverman.
And you would think a journalist like John Romano would pick up the phone and call some people.
John Romano is a joke. Let's call him what he is.
Golly.
He's a sycophant. He's a joke.
He's a shill for this deal.
He is a sycophant. That's all he is. I don't know what Stu has on him. I don't know what the hold is. I don't know why he sits at the trough of Stuart Sternberg propaganda, eats it and regurgitates it to the population. I don't know what Romano has in it for them, but he is not a good faith broker.
Well,
for
not
some
only
reason.
Go ahead.
No. This has got me so jacked up because I don't know what's going on with the Tampa Bay.
Well, I'm trying to keep you on the rails, though. You know, I'm trying to keep because we made our point about it because you're so passionate.
Okay. So listen, I want to talk to a couple things that I have that I want to discuss with you. First and foremost, listen, listeners of JP Peterson, we need you.
We do.
This is our time.
Yep.
We are the people. We need to fight. We need you for this fight. Politicians listen to the people.
They do.
They say they don't, but they do. And let me tell you what you need to do, and I'm going to be emphatic about this. You need to call Jane Castor, Mayor Jane Castor. I'm going to put her number out right now. This goes directly to her office. It is 813-274-8251. Again, that is 813-274-8251. 8251. You call and you bend her ear. Okay? Now, let me tell you what's going to happen when you call. They're going to want to know what your position is. You make it clear that we are all about keeping the Rays full-time.
Full-time.
But the sister city, full-time. But the sister city concept is a joke, is a disgrace, and that she will pay a political price for negotiating weekly on this issue.
Yeah.
Okay? She has to understand that. And trust me, they're going to ask you, are you a resident of Tampa? Be prepared with your Tampa address.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you're not in the city proper, call. Okay? Yeah. But if you're a city of Tampa resident especially, we need you now. This is a call to arms. This is a call to arms in Tampa Bay. We, the fans, are passionate fans. And trust me, JP Peterson has the best listeners.
We do.
Okay?
We
need
educated, smart people that are people of action, by the way. They will put stuff on Twitter. They won't hide in the shadows. They're not going to stand back. They're going to make their feelings known like you do. And that's why that's why we love our listeners. And it's time for action. 813-274-8251. And by the way, again, and I agree with you. I don't think the mayor is lying about it. I just think that she's not listening. If she hasn't heard pushback, then she's listening way too much to the Rays and not enough to the people. No. And I know she's on social media. Yeah. She knows exactly, and trust me. And I like the mayor. I don't agree with her on a lot of things, and I like the mayor. And by the way, and I see Bob Buckhorn. He's a good friend. I love him, but he was never all in like this mayor is engaged. And I think that was more about him and Ken Hagan. But whatever. Buckhorn, he just wasn't engaged like he needed to be. I agree. That's something in Romano's column I agree with. But getting back to that, and I want to say, let me finish this point. It doesn't mean you have to be emphatic. You don't have to be rude. And I'm not saying you were.
No. Just not be rude.
Don't be rude. Just say, to be very and say, listen. Yeah, just say, listen. We're if she goes through with the sister city plan, I will not vote for her. I think it's a betrayal of our city and what we can be. We're better than this. We do not have to accept what the Rays are shoveling here. They're all false narratives, and we're better than this. We are freaking Tampa Bay, and we are not a half city baseball city. We're going, and if it happens, we're going to be the joke of the sports world. You guys want to be getting on Twitter with Buffalo fans or New York fans or Boston fans. The first thing they're going to throw at you. You guys can't even support a team for a whole year. This is sister city garbage.
We're going to get mocked worse.
And that's not the main reason that we don't do this. The main reason is it'll fail. It will fail.
Oh, it'll fail. It'll become a white elephant.
Yes, it'll become a white elephant. See, we shouldn't have built it. And I'm going to say, no, we shouldn't have done a stupid ass sister city thing.
That's right. Do you know for $700 million, we could probably bring in 3 spring training teams and do something like they do in Phoenix? I mean, if we're in the spring, if that's what we think about ourselves, that we're nothing more than a spring training home, well, let's do it smart. Let's not waste $700 million. Stu loves to talk about ROI, return on investment. $700 million on a sister city white elephant is the worst return on investment for spring training business. This is terrible. It's a bad business move. It's terrible return on investment.
Yes.
We could build something so much more grand in Ybor City if we were truly in the spring training business.
Right.
We don't need to do business with Stu Sternberg. He's a bad faith operator.
Not only that, I saw in this story today, it said 35 to 40 games. So now we've gone from half a season to now 35 games.
Lying. He won't put it. Yeah.
How soon will it be 30? Yeah. How soon will it be 30? I mean, come on.
15 spring training games in that number too. Trust me, nothing Stewart
but
ever
by the
says.
way,
If he doesn't put it in writing, you can't.
And this is a false narrative, okay, folks? Spring training games are bull crap. We're not going to pay full price tickets, and stadium's not going to be full to see number 75 pitching.
No.
Come on, it's not a real game. So stop with the.
But you know what's terrible? You know what's terrible, JP? And I'm sorry. I mean, and I know we're shorter. I know listen.
No, we got time. Let's blow it up.
We don't have. The only person that has any backbone is Ken Hagan.
Yes.
Why is Ken Hagan the only politician in this town with true backbone? And I do appreciate Jane Castor, the fact that she's gay, but she's engaged in a weak way. She's engaged from a position of weakness. When Ken came on your show, I found him strong.
Yes.
You know what he admitted? Listen, we all know that Stu is a baby. We all know that Stu has his little binky in his mouth or whatever, and he needs to feel like we listen to him on this sister city, so we're going to play along with
Right,
it. That's
right.
the perfect tone. Jane is over here acting like, oh, God, please don't leave. Give us anything. Please don't leave. We love you.
Right.
You know, that's not how you negotiate.
Right.
You don't negotiate that way, Jane. You don't do it.
And
So
I think, listen, I think here's the deal. And I know the mayor is a sensible woman, and she is going to when she gets this pushback and when she sees, you know, the leaders of this market, the business leaders come together in a way that shows strength and shows togetherness and shows unity, and she's going to hear this pushback, and we start phrasing and basically determining what the narratives are going to be. All right. This is the narrative. You want the sister city plan. That's you. You say that we can't sustain it. We are here, the corporate leaders of Tampa Bay. We are standing here saying there was corporate support. We are not a minor league team. We are not a half city team. We're Tampa Bay. We're the 12th largest media market in America. We are an exploding population. We have Water Street that's bringing more business and more corporate support. That's going to be right next to this baseball stadium. We are not a second-class city, and we do not need Stu Sternberg to tell us that we are. And here's the other part about that part that I wrote that really infuriates me about Romano. It's the same thing that I asked Brian All to Cafe Con Tampa, and he said I was a liar. As I said, you're making $60 to $70 million a year in profit, according to Forbes, according to everybody who you don't open your books, so you can't prove otherwise. If you want to open your books, let's take a look. Let's see how much you're making. See how many millions of dollars that you're paying yourself, and Stu's paying himself for management fees. Let's open the books, okay? So you're making that. You could spend that money right now on payroll, but you don't do it. So to sit there and say that there's not enough money to sustain an average major league payroll when you have the money and refuse to spend it is a bunch of effing garbage. And God, John Romano, stop freaking writing it like it's true. It's not.
Romano won't do it. He's addicted to this man. I don't know what kind of starry-eyed romance Romano has for Sternberg. I don't know what kind of sweet nothings have been whispered in that man's ear, but he is in love.
I hate to make it personal about people. I'm talking about what he's printing here and what he's saying that is just patently untrue.
Why we need to make it personal, JP? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you why we got to ball our fist up here. Because it's not. These clowns will just sit here and talk us into oblivion.
No.
These people are asleep. You want to know why I'm going to get slammed up? Because they're trying to hurt my town.
I know.
They're coming to my town and trying to punk my town now.
Yeah.
Because you know what? When I leave this town and I go other places in this country, I proudly say where I'm from.
Right.
And they're trying to diminish my town.
Yeah.
And I care. And if my mayor doesn't care, if the employees that work at the regions in the city's newspaper don't care, what kind of people write so disparagingly about their market like Romano?
I don't know. And you know what? Where is the balance to what they're saying? Where's the balance? If you're going to write all these is there anybody, not one person at that paper or that website now, it's not even a paper anymore, that has any balance to this whatsoever? Can we get any balance?
I don't know.
I mean, my God. I mean, let's hear both sides of the story. I mean, you got to go to other media to do it. But
let's be honest, JP. Listen, you and I have started this. Look, Jane Castor, they're trying to appease Stu. Stu does not like that you and I are out here doing this.
Of course not.
Stu, look, the first rule of politics is to not pay attention to your opponent. Act as if your opponent is not on your stage. So by Jane coming out and saying, I haven't heard anything, you know what she's implicitly trying to say to the people of Tampa Bay? Haven't heard anything about those folks. Don't listen to those folks. Those folks obviously aren't important.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look. That's why I'm telling you, after this week and next week, that if she says the same thing in 2 weeks, after
it's on.
Then I'm going to start saying, okay, Mayor, this is you're being disingenuous. If you say you're not, my phone's blowing up right now. It's been blowing up for the last 24 hours. People liking the rant that I did, and I'm telling people to get out there on social media. But I love your idea. Let's call. Let's ring the freaking phone off the hook.
I'm telling you, listen. Politicians respond to phone calls. I told you the story about my relative that worked for a politician. The phone calls shake the tree.
Yep.
You want to bend the ear? Go bend the ear. Also, you can just write Jane.Caster at tampagov.net, I believe it is.
Yeah.
I know that there. Give me one moment. Yeah, it's tampagov.net.
Yeah.
And that all of their email addresses are the first name dot last name at tampagov.net. That works as well.
Yeah, there's a form on there you can fill out. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the other person that needs to be spoken to, that he's been really susceptible. I don't think he has much power, but he is the chair pro temp of the city council, is John Dingfelder.
Yeah.
This guy has also been gotten to. His phone number is 813-274-8133. 813-274-8133. Email john.dingfelder@tampagov.net. Right on the website. This is all right there. These people need to hear from us. We the people.
Yes.
We the people don't want you in back rooms making terrible deals with insecure Stuart Sternberg.
Yeah. Don't let them frame. This is my biggest fear is that they have succeeded along with the times in framing the debate and putting their message out. And, and this, even the headline of this column is it's completely disingenuous. That was my long shot or not. Ray's plan for Montreal is picking up support. Jane Castor didn't even say she's for it. Number one, I said this earlier. It bears repeating. All right, let me ask you this, John. Is this picking up support? The Rays went and gave a presentation to the executive council at Major League Baseball in the winter meetings. They could have easily said, "Sure, we'll give you the permission to go seek whatever political endeavors you need to do in Montreal. We'll open up the territory for you. We'll give you that right now." Did they do it? No. It was a no. Well, it was we're tabling it. They could have said yes. They didn't say yes. They said no. Has Major League Baseball Players Association said they're for it? No, they have not. Did the people of Montreal say they're for it? No. The mayor says they're not going to spend any public money. Did the other politicians in Montreal say they were going to spend no public money? No. When Bronfman went to ask for several $100 million, they said you'll get what you put in. Well, the players' taxes and that money that you generate, that's the only money you're going to get. So at every table, they haven't been positives. They've been negatives at every step of the way. But somehow it's picking up support. Define picking up support. The mayor said she's listening. My God, seriously?
Romano, listen, Stu is scared. Okay? Stu is scared. And Romano is his lapdog. Romano will go out and do anything Stu tells him to. Romano has this way of doing it, though. He kind of says, "Well, I used to say that I thought it was a bad idea. No. Hey, listen, aren't I a credible guy? 2 years ago, I said it wasn't a good idea, but now he's convinced me." Well, gee, what a wonderful endorsement that is. I mean, look. And I'm a big believer in letting these people know about it. It's jromano@tampabay.com. That's his email, jromano@tampabay.com. Let him know.
Let them all know.
He has it right out there. You know what? Listen, the media is part of the fourth estate. The media.
Well, it used to be.
I mean, the Constitution says they are, okay? Anyway.
And the other idea that he keeps throwing out there is that, hey, people think that this is just a negotiating ploy. It's not. They're very serious about it. Who cares? Of course they're serious about it. They stand to make a huge windfall of public money. It doesn't mean it's a good idea. Just exactly.
My 11-year-old son is serious about staying up till 3 a.m. tonight. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
My 3-year-old son is serious about my 11-year-old son is serious about a lot of things. That doesn't mean my 11-year-old son's going to get everything he's serious about.
Exactly.
And that's the way we need to be. We are behaving. And really, the Tampa Bay Times, the newspaper that won the whatever race that was here where the Tampa Tribune went away. This is our area's newspaper, and they are they're down talking us. Yeah. They're a client of Stu Sternberg. Isn't this really disturbing?
And not only that, who is Stu Sternberg? Stu Sternberg is an outsider. He doesn't even live here. He doesn't. Well, I guess he has a residence here for tax purposes or whatever. Yeah, well, he's not Jeff Vinnick. He's not the Glazers.
Listen. I'm going to tell you something. Jeff Vinnick.
And I know all the Glazers.
Listen. Stu Sternberg can't even carry Jeff Vinnick's lunch.
I know.
Stuart Sternberg is so inferior to Jeff Vinnick. In fact, I think that's why Stu is such a little ranting crybaby, because he sits up in there in New York talking about all his stuff, thinking he can run. Well, the Steinbrenners run the Yankees from Tampa. Can't I run the Rays from New York? Of course, yeah, sure you can. Okay, great. But you're not Jeff Vinnick. Well, you'll never be loved like Jeff Vinnick because you just come over here and you suck and you usurp. No, you're not Jeff Vinnick, buddy. You're nothing. You are a shell of Jeff Vinnick. And then not only that, but the Glazers went through a pretty rough period right around the economic collapse in 2007 and the whole thing of buying that soccer team and using hedge fund leverage. They were in bad financial shape for a little while.
Yeah,
and I don't think
they didn't spend. They didn't spend money.
But you know
like
what? Guess what? Those people have reformed.
Of course they have.
But the Buccaneers, the Glazers have 180'd. I'm telling you,
tremendously.
They've gotten the Jeffrey Vinnick inspiration, and they treat you. I'm telling you, the Bucks and the Lightning are in a race.
Listen, I say this all the time. And we got to go to a break here, Chris. So, in closing, is when I spoke with Matt Silverman many years ago, and it's just when Vinnick came to town and was giving away $50,000 every game. I said, you guys need to look at this template and do what this guy's doing. This was when, I think Vinnick had been here about a year. And Matt said, yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah. Well, that's a good name.
11 years and counting.
Hey, guess what? That's what real looks like. Yeah. Guess what, Stu? That's what a real timer looks like.
All right, partner. Great.
Hey, one thing I want to tell you, JP,
yes.
I got some news for you on the lawsuit.
Oh.
I read, so basically on the December.
You're sorry, man. You're fading out. I don't know if it's your phone or our stuff. So I'm sorry. We're having a little issue here with our Wi-Fi and our. We'll get that. That's information that we need to have. So we'll take a break here. We'll come back on the other side and we'll get that information to you. So stay with us. We'll be back in 3-4 minutes and we'll get that information from Chris. Sorry about the technical difficulty.
Are you in the market for a refinance or looking for a new home? You got to call my man, Fitz the Mortgage Guy, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. I have got literally a notebook here of testimonials on what a great job he's done for so many of our listeners. Scott saved me $1,200 up front. Scott paid for my appraisal. Scott got my PMI taken off. Scott helped me pay off my car. Well, he didn't give them money, but he refinanced everything for these folks and showed them a great strategy to get rid of a lot of their debt. He's not just a mortgage broker. He's like a financial counselor, and he's passionate to get you the lowest rate and keep you from paying those upfront lender fees. You know those folks that say, we'll pay your closing costs? Well, then they come back and hit you with all these other fees. Folks, go to a local guy who's got a great reputation, been in the business for 20 years here, to 3,000 local mortgages. Scott Fitzgerald. Email him, scott@amstampa.com. That's scott@amstampa.com. Hey, JP here for the Black Rock Bar and Grill, and they got a new menu out, Johnny. This is unbelievable. Some incredible burger creations. Here's my new favorite, mac and cheese burger. Half pound of certified Angus beef, American cheese, bacon, finished with our macaroni and cheese. Are you kidding me? Or a nacho burger with fried jalapenos, grilled onions. They got a ghost pepper chipotle burger. That's hot. Or the Fat Elvis burger. I mean, there's so many good burgers on this thing. It's amazing. What do you like?
I've been taking a look at the seafood section of this summer menu. 8 jumbo shrimp. Unbelievable, man. And it goes perfectly with their burgundy mushrooms.
Oh, I love the mushrooms.
It's delicious.
So good. Of course, you get the steak on a 755-degree stone. You cook it right there in the garlic butter, the casino butter. It's fillets. You can do your shrimp on it, your chicken. It's unlike any other place. It's the Black Rock Bar and Grill. You got to go. It's a new menu. Tell them JP sent you. Brandon and Carrollwood, get to the Black Rock. Who wants free mobile service? I do. And you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
JP, Santa, and young Saint Nick. Get us right over here. My partner for the Gold and Diamond Source. You hear that? Christmas music. It's Christmas time. You just popped a question to your lady from the Gold and Diamond Source diamond that you got.
Yes, I did. The Golden Diamond Source, the best place to go get your diamond for an engagement. They helped me out so much. They were so courteous to me for somebody who's so nervous. And it's Christmas time, like you said. If you're thinking about popping the question, you need to go to Gold and Diamond Source.
It's the Jewelry Supercenter, fully stocked, fully staffed, and yes, just a short drive from downtown Tampa or wherever you're coming from, right there on Ulmerton Road. Avoid the madness at the malls. And whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for that 10-carat custom design, they have it all. 9 jewelers in-house ready to make your dreams come true. Even layaways, 100% interest-free financing up to 5 years. Shop now for your best selection at the Gold and Diamond Source and make your lady wonderfully happy like Nick did. That's absolutely. Shop anytime online at thegoldanddiamond.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
Here is Victor Edmond. Leads it in tight quarters for Killorn. Killorn lost the handle. Partially deflected. Here's a shot. Scores! Steven Stamkos with a rip job to the top shelf. And the Lightning take the lead.
What a shot by Stammer. Almost as good as the Taylor Radish shot last night. How about that one? That was freaking unbelievable. These guys are, man, they are on a roll. They beat Toronto last night, a very game Toronto team. Stamkos with a big power play goal right there. This is what, 5-game win streak now for the Baltimore with a tremendous shot of his own, a redirect. Palat had a great 3-on-1 that he finished to make it 3-2. Radish's goal was tremendous. Man, these guys are playing unbelievable. Cirelli got hurt again last night, so who steps up? Stammer, Radish, Palat. Palat is playing phenomenal hockey, man. He is just. I mean, we've seen skill from him. That goal the other night was to the game winner at Montreal was just unbelievable. And just this team is just it's scary how good they're playing. I mean, without Pointer, without Kucherov, without all these guys.
I mean, they're 8-1-1 since Braden Point went down, and they're like 14-2 and something since Kucherov went down. It's just you can't even really describe it, to be honest, what they're doing. I mean, we talked about it when the season started and they were getting out of a slow. We're like, just manage till December, January, just stay in the hunt. They're tied for first in the entire Eastern Conference.
This is almost more impressive than winning the Stanley Cup last year, what they're doing right now.
I mean, I put it out there yesterday. I mean, no Kucherov, no Point. Joseph and Chernak have been out. You got 4 to 5 rookies playing in and out of the lineup every day. Your entire third line was gutted, and you've picked up points in 21 of 26 games.
Don't other teams look at the Lightning, especially the ones in Canada, and go, how the hell are they doing this? Like, what do they do? What kind of magic sauce is down there in Tampa Bay?
I got news for you. The Stanley Cup is coming through Tampa again.
Good God,
at least it appears.
I mean, NHL, listened to the guys on Sirius the other day, and they were just like, what? They were just dumbfounded how they're doing this. They just dumbfounded. It's hard to explain. Nobody puts all these young kids up there and they play like they're playing. I mean, a lot of it's Vasilevsky. Let's just be honest. Let's hear Cooper try to explain some of this, because it's magical. It's just magical. He and this coaching staff deserve a lot of credit right now. Cooper.
Yeah, I'd never apologize for winning, and you can sit here and say we stole a couple, and I would agree with you. There was probably some games on this road trip the other team maybe deserved some more points out of it than they got, but we're not apologizing for it. Our goal here is to make the playoffs, and just got to take advantage of this time and opportunities to win hockey games, and we're winning them different ways, whether it's one night's goaltending or one night we're scoring, but for the most part, we've been defending pretty well, and we're getting little opportunities maybe on some special teams. Tonight they had the 2 power play goals, but we haven't been used to scoring ourselves out of wins lately, but it was nice tonight to get some goals. But it's just they're finding a way, and they're just doing it all kind of different ways. And it's a tough league to win in, especially this stretch we're in here where I basically considered an 8-game road trip, because we did go to Tampa for 1, but we left right away. So 8 different cities, and our last, going to be 8 games here when we play Ottawa on Saturday. And for these guys to get the points they are, it's a good sign for us.
Man, it's just, I mean, you could hear it in his voice. He's kind of like, he probably loses press conference, walks backward and just shakes his head like,
he can't really explain it.
You can't explain it. It's just, they're just freaking good.
How about for Jon Cooper too? Accomplishment last night. Fastest coach rather in NHL history to 400 wins. Jon Cooper. He talked about that as well.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, that was honestly, I found that out on the bench today at the end of the game when Perry and Maroon were kind of ribbing me, and I was so I haven't had a ton of time to digest that, other than the fact that I think I'm obviously really proud to have done it with one team, but you don't do that without an owner. We've had 2 general managers that are committed to all having the same goal, all being on the same page. We were kind of, all bonded together. I have to thank, Jeff, Steve, and Julian, and fabulous assistant coaches that make somebody like me look good in a situation like this. And then a whole bunch of hell of a hockey players, because in the end, they're the guys that get you the wins. And so a lot of people to thank for that. Hopefully we're not stopping here, but pretty humbling moment, to be honest, and but pretty cool.
The dude was a lawyer. He's a high school beer league coach. He started as like a beer league coach. He coached in Texas,
and he went to
Amarillo.
Yeah.
This is not Scotty Bowman blue blood hierarchy. This is not guys come through the ranks and play. This dude came from Amarillo. He was coaching at a Texas minor league hockey league. He's the fastest to 400 wins in the National Hockey League.
And think
Holy
about
shit.
it.
That's unbelievable.
And think about it. 10 years ago, when he was with the Syracuse Crunch, or the Norfolk Admirals, they still were
20 in a row.
27
games
in a row.
I think, you know what? We had him on. You know what? I remember he was on my show. We got him on my show 10, whatever it was, years ago when he was in. And I remember it, and he came on and he was talking about it. I was like, this guy's really smart. He's really nice, and he's affable. He's just so likable. But I never really, here we are a decade later, and he's the fastest to 400 wins. He's got 2 cups back to back.
And fast forward about remember a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, a lot of people in this area were calling for his head. And you could have made that change, and you couldn't have blamed the Lightning ownership, but continuity is a thing in the game of hockey.
That's right.
And if Steve Yzerman would have taken the job with the Red Wings, he'd probably still be the GM, and you would have been going 10 years strong with the same owner, the same coach, and the same GM.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in the NHL. Jon Cooper's the longest tenured coach in the league.
Yeah. It's just an amazing story on so many levels. Hey, real quick, what Chris was going to say at the end there, and this is interesting. So on March 2nd, you're not going to read it in the Times, by the way. On March 2nd, there's going to be a hearing in front of the judge, the Honorable Amy Williams, who is going to decide whether this is going to go to arbitration or a jury trial. It's going to be a 1-hour Zoom type of conference, and Christopher is going to a motion for us to have access to it as a media member. So we're going to be hopefully if we're allowed to, which he thinks we will be able to allow to, but because we're part of the media, that we will get access to this hearing and we can hear all the things that are going on, the motions that are being put out there. You would hope that the Times would be involved as well, but probably not. So that'll be interesting. And that's going to happen on March 2nd. So the lawsuit is continuing. It's very serious, and Stu is in water. No other way about it. And nobody talks about it in this marketplace, which is unbelievable. It's a huge story. We didn't have time to get to the Pat McAfee thing. It was one of the most amazing stories. The dude got a $120 million deal from FanDuel and gave it almost all of it away. It's such a great story of gratitude. All right. It's been an amazing week here, folks. With the Vince tirade thing at Florida State. We're very proud we were able to break that story and have an effect and make sure Florida State didn't make a huge, huge mistake. That's the power of journalism. It can happen, folks. It's still being done. We can make a difference, and you can make a difference with the mayor. 813-274-8251. 8251. Call and tell her no, Sister City. Have a great weekend, everybody. God bless.